Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Claw and the King podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Dopey, over here. How are you today, my friend?
I am wonderful.
I'm sorry for the inconsistent uploads, but we've been rather busy the past couple of weeks.
Being an
we
adult
sort of-
sucks.
What?
Being an adult sucks.
I wasn't really talking about that. I was talking about the trip that we had
Yeah,
together.
but that doesn't explain like a month absence.
Yeah, well,
that was like 3 days.
Well, yeah, we'll delve more into that Melbourne trip. Had something to do with the F1, so obviously it's involved in this podcast. But what topic would you like to start off with today?
Tópico número uno.
Are you Spanish now? Can you not do it in Spanish anymore?
UFC 287. Jorge Masvidal.
Masvidal.
The Spaniard.
He's not
Fucking
Spaniard,
sucks.
he's Cuban.
And now he's retired.
Well, yeah, that was probably a sad note. Obviously, he became very famous from that knee to Ben Askren. And really, it was a toss-up first round, but I thought Gilbert won because of that takedown at the end. But yeah, he never really was in that fight. I don't think anyone predicted that he'd win that fight. And yeah, it was just sort of sad to see him go out on a loss, but you know, it was kind of expected at the end of the day. He was ranked, 11th or something? There was no way that he
The
would...
last fight he won was against Nate Diaz, which is 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, there ain't much hope in Jorge Masvidal in terms of a contender for any belt. So it's probably right that he retired, and I'm glad that he did. And left on with some dignity in the ring. He still had some competitive spirit. You don't want to go out like a fucking...
But he got that horrific tattoo.
What do you mean?
That tattoo on his...
I didn't notice it. What was
You didn't
it?
notice it? It's him doing the flying knee with like the four elements around it.
Oh, that's embarrassing. We get it. You fucking knocked out
Such a bad tattoo.
Really shit MMA fighter. Good job.
I saw a thing that was like, Jorge Masvidal has to have the worst tattoo in the UFC. And then Darren Till commented and he said, no, it's me.
Oh,
There's
there's so many.
gorilla girl on
Yeah,
his bicep.
there's so many bad ones. I mean, Connor's ones are bad, but he's iconic.
But Connors they're meant to look like that. They're not. You can dislike them, but they're all right.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a decent card. Obviously, the prodigy, the 19-year-old or 18-year-old prodigy.
Not a prodigy.
Yeah, not a prodigy. It turns out. He's young. He's a teenager. You can't really blame him. He's gonna have losses. I mean, Charles Oliveira came in to the UFC young, and he fucking was like 8-8 to start off his UFC career. So you can't really say that losing early on in his career is just going to kill his career. He's never going to be a champion or whatever. I think it's just sort of a wake-up call for him that he's not just going to, like he said, go to basically win the belt like tomorrow.
He's talking about becoming a 3-division champ, being the GOAT.
Yeah, I think it's good for him, actually. I think it's kind of humbled him. And obviously losing, I don't think he should have been on the main card, personally, even though he's a big name.
Yeah, well, they had Gaslam Curtis on the prelims, which was a sick fight.
Yeah, and that was a fucking crazy fight as well. But Gaslam fights are always really, really good anyway. And that fight should have definitely been on the main card. But Rosas was pumped up by the UFC because of his age and how he'd sort of been undefeated at his age, already rising in the UFC. But yeah, I think it was a good sort of result for the company and for him, because you don't want a fucking hype. You don't want a Darren Till situation where there's such a big hype train, so young, even though Darren Till obviously wasn't as young as Rosas. And then because everyone thinks he's, the champion or the next champion, and his career just gets absolutely demolished because the expectations were too high for him at that time. And I think it's good that he's sort of going to stay probably milling around the unranked sort of territory for the next couple of years. I think that's good for him. Build his experience, build his career, and then he can sort of take on the bigger fish.
He's still got 5 years to become the youngest UFC champion ever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And most UFC, you see on the, it's crazy because we watch so many sports and athletes fucking hit their peak at 32, 33, but then you watch a UFC card and you see the age right before they fight and it's like fucking 38, they're 36, and these guys are saying, well, they could be champion or they could be fighting for the next couple of years. So it's a bit crazy how the UFC works in that way. As you get older, you get better. So he's got a very long career ahead of him probably. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he can sort of rise again.
It wasn't a great day for prospects overall. I mean, the guy Rob Font fought Adrian Yanez. He was also a prospect and he got knocked out, which was cool. Rob Font was like 35, coming off a few 2 or 3 losses. So good to see him get back in the winner's circle there. Give it one last shot at the belt, I guess. Who was the other fight on the main card?
Are you talking about the main event? Do you want me to have
not the main event. The other.
Okay.
There was another fight, surely.
We'll have a look. Just a quick look on the UFC. Obviously,
Kevin Holland.
Oh yeah, Kevin Holland. So yeah, it was. Obviously, Rosas lost it via decision. Kevin Holland beat Santiago. How do you say that? Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland, isn't he the talker? Kevin Holland.
Yeah, he's the talker.
He's the Dana White famously said he's a bit of a chatter in the ring. He doesn't like him too much.
Yeah, the guy that lost to Hamza.
Yeah, got absolutely fucking mauled by Hamza within the first 5 seconds. So yeah, Rob Font obviously won by TKO, and then Gilbert Burns won by decision, and then the main event of the night. Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya.
Israel, the last stylebender.
Oh, can you not do that?
Adesanya.
All right, can you do it properly though? Can you do it in a brief? No, but that was like whispering because you were nervous. But can you do like a proper Bruce Buffer this is the mate? Come on. You're not gonna do it. You can't just tease us with it and then just not.
It's time. 5 rounds of the undisputed UFC.
It's time.
It is time. But Adesanya, I mean, he probably lost the first round, and then he was, cowering up on the cage, taking some big shots in the second round. He says he was playing possum. I mean, sure.
No. Mate. That's a bit of. Look, he might have done. But he was getting caught a lot, especially in that first in the first round. He got caught a bit towards the end of the first round. In that exchange, he could have easily gotten caught by Pereira there, and it was very dangerous what he was doing, but he obviously caught him with a very dangerous combination. So, he thoroughly deserved to win, obviously.
Great knockout. I mean,
it was a great knockout. Probably won a contender of the year for knockout.
It probably will win knockout of the year. Even if there's more spectacular knockouts, just the story behind it. What went into it.
Pereira was Adesanya's boogeyman. Everyone thought that he was, had no chance against Pereira. Well, the people thought he had a chance because of obviously how much better he is from a skill perspective. But in terms of Pereira had his number, everyone thought Pereira had his number. And in that first round, I thought, oh, God, here we go again. Pereira's got this guy's number. He's just in his head. Pereira's probably maybe top 10 in his division, probably top 5, because he doesn't have the skill set that many others do. But just in the case of Adesanya, 2 kickboxers, traditionally, Pereira just has his number. But it turns out that Adesanya had a bit of dog in him. He had that dog in him.
I mean, that was the cringiest thing I've ever seen. He was walking around the whole week wearing a dog collar. I mean, it looked pathetic.
Yeah, it's a bit.
He sounded pathetic.
It's a bit weird. Obviously, people were making fun. Obviously, we might talk about the women's NCAA final. Did you watch the basketball women's?
Where they were chatting shit?
Yeah. So it was kind of like a big thing on Twitter how she was getting flamed, and I thought it was bad. I thought it was distasteful what she did. She basically followed the opposition player, their best player, around the court towards the end. They already blew them out, and just following around the court doing you can't see me, John Cena shit. It's like in the moment, if it's a tight game, in the moment, and you've hit a massive shot over this girl, and you do you can't see him. That's sick. All right, you can talk all the shit in the moment as you want, but you're winning by 15, and you're chatting shit against the best player, who's Caitlin Clark, who basically took the NCAA tournament by storm, and made the women's game so popular in the college, from a college viewpoint. But anyway, people were comparing what Israel did in terms of falling in front of Pereira's son to what?
Shooting him with the arrows.
Yeah. And doing all that stuff, and said he would, if it was, a woman he would be flamed. It's very, very different, obviously, because there was personal beef there.
Man, these guys are killing each other. This is literally their job.
I don't think that correlation is true.
That was funny what Adesanya did.
Yeah. And people were flaming it on Twitter that you're going after a 6-year-old. You're a big man.
He's not 6 anymore.
I know, but he was 6 when Pereira... I saw a tweet. It's holding a 5-year grudge over a 6-year-old is elite.
It is elite. I mean, I would too. The kid was a dickhead, falling over while you just get knocked out.
Yeah, it was. I respect what Adesanya's did, and I think it was funny. Especially, I didn't know the context when I first saw it, and I thought, well, that's a bit dodgy if you're just doing this to his son who's right there. You're just falling over. But obviously, once you see the context and you see that in the kickboxing fight when Pereira won, his son basically did that, not even like in the stands, he did it right in front of Adesanya.
When they were like reading out the score.
Yeah, it was literally right in front of Adesanya. So I absolutely support what he did.
In his post-fight press conference, he was like, yeah, I'm a petty person. I have grudges. If that kid wants to fight, he can get it too.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that he's not even like a 16-year-old. It's like a 6-year-old at the time. He's like, bro, when I beat your dad, I'm doing that to you next time.
Yeah, you could tell he just plans everything. I mean, because he pulled the bow and arrow thing out that literally the second after it stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's got like all his quotes in the post-fight interview. I mean, it's just what he has to do all night, just research quotes and shit.
Yeah, so I thought that was a cool sort of moment, even though some people didn't. I think the trash talking's cool. It's a bit cringe when you do it the day after. But I mean, look, he's won the belt. You know, you can't blame him. He's been fucking flamed for losing to a guy that he probably shouldn't have lost to. And he's finally got him back, and he's going to probably fight a very different opponent according to Dana and him in the post-match press conference.
Yeah. I mean, there really is
post-fight press conference.
The only real fight there is to do the trilogy in the UFC.
No, but Dana doesn't want it.
Yeah, Dana doesn't want it, and Pereira cuts about 50 pounds to make 185. So I don't know if he want to do that again.
Yeah, it's just I think Dana's worst case scenario is if there's a trilogy and Pereira wins. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, then Rob beats him, and then Izzy beats Rob.
So yeah, just for context again, when Oscar first came to film the podcast today, he was kind of upset about the result on the weekend. And you're like, why? Adesanya's kind of local. He grew up in New Zealand. I mean, why would Oscar like a random Brazilian dude?
I don't like him.
Well, it turns out it's because Rob Whittaker. And the fact that he believes Rob Whittaker would get a shot against Pereira, but maybe not against Adesanya. But he probably could get a shot against both. But Oscar, obviously, like most sane people believe that Whittaker can't beat Adesanya, but he can beat Pereira.
I think he can beat both.
Okay, he's got a 5% chance of beating Adesanya.
5%? 45.
45?
It's razor thin.
Really?
Yeah.
No one thinks that. Okay, I'll give it 20%. He's got a 20% chance.
How? Did you watch the second fight?
I've watched the two fights that they've had, and he's lost both.
Yeah, but the second fight.
Did you watch the first fight?
Close. Yes, I did. And you see how much he's improved since then.
So is Adesanya.
Whittaker's younger than Adesanya. He's improved more.
I think most people. I think there's a reason why you're upset that Pereira had lost, and that's because you believe that Whittaker would have wiped the floor with Pereira, and there's probably it's more likely that he loses to Adesanya than beats him. Even you just said that. You said 45%.
Yeah, rationally, I think he'll win, but
so no, you mean spiritually, you think he'll win? Like
I think Rob will win, but
okay. Well, I don't think he might not even get the shot. I mean, does Dana want to give a guy a shot?
They're talking about you probably don't know this guy, Dricus du Plessis.
I do. Oh no, I heard that guy. Yeah, he was like, I'm going to bring the title to Africa.
Yes, and then Izzy got pissed off about it.
That made Usman and Izzy pissed off.
Because he's like a white dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think, he got flamed as well. But I think it's right. I mean, Izzy and Usman, even though they are from African descent, they've got American accents.
Well, Izzy has a
New Zealand. Yeah, he's got a Kiwi. They've got foreign accent. Fucking Duplessis sounds like a fucking South African. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yeah, but I think he was like disregarding their African heritage or something. But yeah, the thing with him is he's kind of shit. He hasn't.
But they're just doing it for the beef.
Well, and because Izzy's beat everyone in the top 5 already.
Yeah, so so it's like a African. So they would do it in Africa.
So, no, they wouldn't do it in Africa. But
that'd be a big fight though if you fucking held it in South Africa or something.
There's nowhere to. Dana he wants to do a fight in Africa, but you can tell it's not. It's not happening.
I mean, if he wants to do a fight in Africa, that's the fight to do in Africa.
Yeah, but he needs like a stable, big arena that can do it.
I'm sure there's fucking some South African fucking Springbok arena that they can fucking do it in.
Yeah, but I think he wants to do like Nigeria or
somewhere like that.
That's where Izzy would want to do it, but. So this South African guy, he just beat Darren Till in their last fight, which Darren Till is obviously awful now at this point in his career, and du Plessis did not look great against him, but he got the decision. And it doesn't really make sense for him to get a title shot. Like, he's not even ranked in the top 5, but and he realistically he should fight Rob as a number 1 contender fight, but Rob would kill him. So
well, look, the UFC just partnered with the WWE. It's all about storylines. It's all about concocting a story. So I can see. Well, Brock Lesnar, no.
He can cut like 70 pounds.
He won't. He's on the roids,
on the roids. Yeah, he's allowed on the roids.
No, he's not, bro.
He was literally allowed to fight on the roids.
Yeah, but they've made it a bit stricter now, surely.
No, USADA literally let him fight on the roids.
Yeah, I know. Well, Dana was like, USADA, how about you let just big boy over here? We all know. We all know that he's not natural. Let's just let him fight on the roids.
Yeah.
But I think...
Same with Izzy. Izzy's got a fucking breast he's growing, which is super natural.
Well, according to Nate Diaz and Mike Bisping, everyone's on steroids. So apart from those two, so yeah, we'll see.
Well,
hopefully,
it's shameful if Nate Diaz is on steroids and he looks like that.
yeah, that is quite embarrassing. But yeah, so yeah, that was the UFC sort of wrapped. I think most people in Australia, apart from Oscar, were happy that Adesanya won. I
wasn't unhappy. It's just I just don't really like him as a personality anymore. He's just kind of very cringe to me.
No, I don't think he's that cringe. I think if you're like the best, it's not cringe. Like, but I'll take that back. Usman was cringe.
He just seems so egotistical and it annoys me.
I mean, you kind of got to be egotistical to be like but you can
be a nice guy. I mean, look at Volkanovski, mate. He's the nicest
Rob's a nice guy. How many times
Rob's
has he touched the belt?
Twice.
For real though? Has he touched the actual, not the interim one, like the actual one?
Well, he won it against Romero, and then he defended it against Romero.
Okay, let's be frank. He ain't the champion for a reason because he's too nice.
What? That's why he's not the champion.
No, I'm kidding. So yeah, hopefully the nice guy act apparently that Oscar wants. Obviously, Volkanovski.
No, I don't want a nice guy act, but I just want I love Conor McGregor's act, but there's just difference. There's just a difference.
Okay, all right. So yeah, moving on. What sport would you like to cover next?
Moving on, we can do some NBA. Obviously, the season is heating up very much, hotting up, as I guess some people say in that sort of scenario.
Do people say that? Does people say hottening up?
No, hotting up.
Hotting up?
Yeah, apparently that's how you meant to say it. No, apparently it is. I didn't think that as well when I heard it, but then I saw like a lot of people saying it, and I was like, oh wow, I guess that's how you say it. Who said that? I can't remember, but I've heard it.
Okay, sure, buddy.
It's hotting up.
All right, sure.
Yeah, so regular season is over. 82 games complete. 83 if you're Mikal Bridges. So that's good
crazy
on him. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can quickly talk about all the eliminated teams. Everyone that tanked, good on them. I guess the only one.
Do you want me to bring up each team? Should we do a review of each eliminated team? I think that's it.
Right.
We'll do a quick one because it's obviously some of these teams don't deserve
for everyone except Dallas. They can get a little bit longer.
Yeah. Dallas deserves a whole show. Let's be real. So we'll start with the East. Pistons.
Good job.
No, good job. You get Wemby. No, I think Pistons. I expected in the preseason prediction. I expected them to do a bit better.
Yeah, you were like almost stupidly high on them.
Yeah, but I wasn't stupidly. Let me just clarify. I was of the perspective that I thought they'd actually try to win this season because they've got enough talent. They got Jaden Ivey, they got Cade Cunningham. They've got enough young, talented players. Like, you don't need to tank more, bro. You don't need to tank for 10 years straight. You don't need to. Like, when was the last playoff team they had? Was fucking Tobias Harris and Josh Smith was on the team. Like, let's be real.
They made it with Blake.
Okay, Blake might have been hanging around. Like, Blake could dunk at that point. That's how far right that was.
He actually made All NBA that year.
Yeah, didn't he? Was that the year they started the year with the Clippers and got traded mid-season, or was that the year after?
The year after that.
Okay. So yeah, Pistons. I thought you'd do better. You won 17 games, so not great.
No.
Hornets. Tragic season. Let's be real.
Injuries. I mean,
but if they get Wemby, it's all again with all these teams. If they get Wemby, it's worth it. But
they don't really have much of a squad apart from LaMelo.
Well, they need a center. So they are hoping for Wemby. I'm assuming. Michael Jordan's selling the team, which is. Probably good for the Hornets because he's been a terrible owner.
He's realised he's a shit owner.
But yeah, you can see that their defense is horrendous. Obviously, look, it didn't help at the start of the season that they had the fucking
Miles Bridges.
Fucking I always get this two mixed up. The Miles Bridges controversy.
You've just got to sign him at this point. Who cares? You're that shit.
Well, look, I don't know was he found in? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he can be signed, but
yeah, I don't want to get into the details of that case, but obviously the controversy arising from that, they were going to sign him and then this fucking happened and then they've just lost it. they've just absolutely lost the plot. They've got no defense. They've got really nothing apart from LaMelo, and even LaMelo is shocking defensively at times. So yeah, the Magic, they've got 34 wins.
They did all right.
I actually thought the Magic did a lot better. They started horrendously, but then I think they finished the season even with like 20. They went 20-20 or something. They were actually a really solid team towards the tail end of the year. They got a lot to be thankful for. I mean, Jonathan Isaac came back.
He played 2 games?
Did he get injured again?
Yeah, he did his Achilles or something.
Oh my god, this guy! This guy is like, this is like the biggest robbery in the history. This has got to be like the worst.
It's pretty unlucky. I mean,
if it would go down as the worst, like luck in the history of sport, like surely,
yeah,
he's been out for he'll be out for like 5 years. Like that's crazy, and he signed it. But, I mean, he's kind of lucky in the sense that he signed a $120 million contract before he got all of these injuries.
Very lucky.
So, yeah, good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
But, yeah, apart from that, obviously...
Paolo looks good.
Paolo, probably Rookie of the Year.
Markel came back.
Yeah, it was a bit... It was a bit overhyped. He had a bit up and down. But, look, they've got some pieces there.
Who's that? Do they have Bol?
I believe they do. Yeah, they've got
Bol.
Look, they've got some... They're like the fan favorite team. Like they've got a bunch of players there that people like.
Yeah,
like they're just like memes.
They just have a bunch of like solid young players.
Like yeah, if this was a 2K roster, they could be an NBA champion in 2 years because of how fucking stupid 2K logic is. But the Wizards debacle of a season. I mean, they probably expected to be a little bit better with Beal, Porzingis, and Kuzma, but. I mean, they're just stuck in the mud. I mean, Bradley Beal's got to get his ass out of there or his career's going to be done soon. I recently saw he did a press conference and said, look, the team's not where it should be, and I'm not happy about that, but I don't want to leave, essentially. He didn't say that, but he said that, and he essentially said it.
Yeah. Well,
what the fuck are you doing, is my... Look, I get, like, loyalty, and we'll get on to Dame.
It's him and Dame Lillard, my God.
But, like, what are you doing? Like, do you not have any desire to win? Like,
you've got the money now. Just
look, I get how it sounds coming from us who are fucking 2 losers in my room, just talking about you when you've got fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. I get that's fucking weird. Like, what are you doing with your life, dude? What are you doing with your life? You fucking idiot. But no. Like, if you've got any desire to win a championship, you need to request a trade. I don't understand how you do not comprehend that. There is no scenario in where the Wizards... He probably even make the play-in next year. I mean, the Magic will be better. The Hornets will be better. The Pistons will be better. The Pacers will be better. Like, all those teams are young teams. So they'll be better over the... Like, you're not young. Porzingis, even though he was drafted in 2015, and to me, in my young brain, seems like he'd be young, but for some fucking reason, he's not. And that just makes me feel old.
He's not young.
So, yeah, you've got an old team there. Well, you've got a prime team there, but you're not going to get any better. You've got no salary cap. Porzingis and Beal take up the entirety of it. Kuzma adds a bit to it as well. So, yeah, you just got to blow it up, essentially. And Bradley Beal, what the fuck are you doing? The Pacers look good.
I mean, everyone was like, oh, this is a playoff team. No,
but they're not.
Halliburton, great find.
Yeah. Look, I can't get over the fact how ugly his jump shot is.
I know, but it works.
So bad. Like, I couldn't root for him. Like, I know that's superficial, but, like, me and him, he loved Paul George before he went to the Clippers because of how smooth of a player he is to watch. This guy is the opposite of that. It's like...
He is smooth, apart from his jump shot.
I know, it's like the part of the NBA that doesn't get talked about. If you look good when you play, you get fan... Like, Kyrie Irving has, like, a hard fan base, and he's sucked, like, the past 5 years, and he's been a... like locker room nightmare the last 5 years, but he still has a hardcore fan base because he looks so sexy when he plays. Yeah. And he just he's so smooth. Same with Paul. Paul George cracked it in the playoffs 3 years ago, but he still had a hardcore group of fans. He still has he got like 8 shoes. And he's like just an all-star. He's not like an NBA superstar because he's a sexy player to watch. There's a reason why Zebo didn't have fucking signature shoes. Let's be real. Because he was
there's a reason why Rudy Gobert
doesn't have shoes. There's a reason why Al Jefferson didn't have fucking, multiple All-Star. He wasn't, heralded as one of the great players in the NBA. Because he was an ugly player to watch. He did a post hook every fucking shot. Halliburton is an ugly player to watch. Even though he's a great player and he's a really good defensive player, he impacts winning, definitely. And I think that Sacramento-Indiana trade with Sabonis and him could probably go down as probably one of the most equal trades in NBA history. In both sides getting what they want. However, I couldn't be a fan of him because of how ugly. And I know that sounds bad, but it is what it is.
It is a wacky jump shot. But it goes in. So fuck it. If it works,
look, he's a good 3-point shooter. So who am I to judge?
He torched the Lakers a couple times this year, which pissed me off. So.
Easy thing to do. So good on him. So we'll move to the West. So that was the East. Obviously, we'll talk about the playing game afterwards. So yeah, that was the East. The West. Now 15th Spurs. Actually, for tied, Spurs and Rockets both on 22 wins.
Well, Rockets with the tiebreaker. So
yeah, good on him. So yeah, we'll start with the Spurs. I just feel bad for Popovich.
I know he should retire.
Yeah, what are you doing? Surely you don't need the money. I don't get it with old people how they're like, we need to make money at 78, and you're already a millionaire.
It's obviously not about the money. It's obviously just it's his way of life. He would probably
I
feel
get
lost
that,
without
but surely you've got a retired way of life as well. Surely you can transition into that. Surely you've got to surely this is not that was not a basketball team out there. So you're not actually coaching basketball teams. You're getting smashed every week. You're watching demolitions you're a demolition fucking expert essentially.
But it's just hard for the Spurs because no one signs there ever. So
well, again, look, they had this reality of it's just a terrible city. So it's tough for them to really live in or to attract free agents. And really, the fact that they got fucking LaMarcus Aldridge that one time.
The fact that they had a 20-year
miracle.
dynasty is incredible.
Yeah, how they retained how those French geezers and the Argentina geezer and how they fucking stayed for that long is beyond me. But look, I think they were also rife with controversy as well. Joshua Primo at the start of the year did a bit funny. Of a. Well, I wouldn't call it
expose.
Wouldn't class it as funny. It was a bit surprising that he would just do such things in the workplace. But we'll see. You go, Josh.
Good stuff, Josh.
So yeah, the Spurs and we'll move on to the Rockets. Spurs and Rockets. No one thought they'd do anything.
Rockets have more upside, though. I think.
Do they? Well, watching the Rockets is probably the worst thing that you could do for yourself.
It is, but
it's they
have talent individually.
It summarizes where the NBA has gone wrong. If you could if the aliens came down and you would have to point at the reason the NBA got worse, you just point at the Rockets. The Rockets just chuck up threes. It's just so bad to watch. Jalen Green is the most infuriating player to watch. And I saw this debate on TikTok, by the way, that I thought was probably the top 5 worst takes of all time. This fucking group of idiots thought, did a debate, who would you rather have, Jalen Green or Josh Giddey? And they picked, half of them picked Jalen Green. And I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? You're such a casual if you think Jalen Green impacts winning more than fucking Jalen Green. Oh, sorry, Jalen Green impacts more than Josh Giddey, sorry. Josh Giddey is by far a better player than fucking Jalen Green. By far. Does way more passing the ball, rebounding, defense. Efficiency. Just anything you want on a good basketball team, he does better than Jalen Green. Jalen Green, again, looks sexy when he plays, wears fucking tight-ass shorts.
He can jump high.
I don't mean that in the way you think it means. He's just a terrible player to watch because he plays AAU basketball, chucks a ball up from fucking 40 feet, and he bricks it half the time. He scores 20 points a game on 8 for 30 shooting. That's just Jalen Green.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're like Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Jabari Smith.
I know.
You guys just shoot for your life the next 3 years, and hopefully you'll get good eventually.
And then Silas got fired, or he's rumored to be let go at the end of the season.
Well, that's good. He would want that, surely.
Yeah, I'm like, people are like, oh, he doesn't deserve that. He's been it was not his fault. I'm like, they're giving him mercy now. He gets to be an assistant coach on a good team. He can actually
he gets to go
enjoy
to
his life now. He can actually have fun. What? I wonder what the meetings how they professional teams do meetings and analyze film. What do you think they do in those?
Silas comes in with a play. He's like, all right, boys, we're gonna run this today, and then Jalen goes, no, coach, I got it.
I got it. Don't worry, coach, I got you.
Watch this.
Watch my AU tape, dude. Watch how cool I am. So yeah, that is a terrible team, and I really they're just so distasteful to watch. And then you've got the Portland Trail Blazers.
Again, very disappointing. Obviously Lillard has fucked it.
Expected though.
Not this bad though.
Yeah, but
even though they did.
no,
tank
but it's been going
at the
on a
end.
downward trajectory. Again, I saw a comment on TikTok. It's like all the Blazers need to do is just add a couple pieces. Like, imagine if they could just trade for
So it's not like they've done that every year.
yeah,
for the
imagine
past
if they
decade.
could just like trade for CJ McCollum and like Larry Nance. Oh wait, they already traded them away. Yeah, they've just been systematically every year, just piece by piece, just dismantling this team and acting like they're getting better when they're really not. They're like, no, dude, Jeremy Grant is better than CJ McCollum. Let's be fucking real here.
Yeah.
We don't need these bombs. You know, we're gonna, you know, look, Anthony Simons is a positive, obviously, for that team. He's grown into probably the future of that team. And by Dame's comments at the end of the season, you know, he referred to the fact that if Portland want to do a rebuilding process, I'm not going to be around here. I'm not going to be around for that. That's not part of what I want to do. I want to win. So at least that's positive coming from him. And I think
I think everybody would just clap their hands and cheer if Damian Lillard requested a trade.
But where would he go though? Like maybe
anywhere.
Like I could imagine maybe a Lakers.
Dallas. Fucking sack Kyrie off.
No, Dallas don't. I don't think they have the assets. It's just tough. Who has the salary cap and who has the winning capabilities to do it? Maybe, I don't know. Do the Nets make a play? I mean, it's a really, really tricky sort of situation.
Sixers,
Miami, maybe. Do they want Kyle Lowry? Forward, you want Kyle Lowry?
Well, expiring contract, you might take it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Miami is maybe an option. So yeah, look, there are options for Damian Lillard, and I think he should move on. Frankly, give it to Anthony Simons, get the rebuild going, let them build through the draft. But apparently news that I saw this morning, actually, that they're willing, unless they get the number 1 overall pick, they're willing to trade their lottery pick this year. What the fuck are you doing?
To what? Like get a Norman Powell back?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Do you want Norman back? They'll probably like trade him for like, I don't know, they get Dylan Brooks on the team or something. Like they'll do some stupid move that like some semi-big name. Like, oh, look how good our team is.
I don't want Dylan
now.
Brooks defiling Damian Lillard's mind.
Yeah,
it's rubbiness.
At the end of the day, you just got to blow it up. I mean, how many years have we said this about the Blazers? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Quite a few.
The Jazz are next.
The Jazz, I mean, they kind of went all right. Better than expected, I guess.
Well, I mean, at the start of the season, people were like, oh my God, are they the NBA champions? Are they underdogs? Are they... I mean, they were... I think all you saw on your fucking Twitter timeline was fucking, oh, the Jazz are on this run. The Jazz are doing this. The Jazz are doing that.
Well, they were the 1 seed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they were fucking bossing it. But they tailed off massively.
Well, they realized they were meant to be losing, not winning.
Yeah, they were terrible. But look, Larry Markkinen is obviously a positive for them. Him moving to small forward, being a really, really great scorer from that position and being an all-star this year's a real positive. And obviously they traded away Rudy Gobert, so that's, I mean, obviously a positive. Yeah, you got to do a bit of a punch up with Mr. Slowman
Rudy
on the Minnesota Timberwolves, so that's a great trade for them. It's not like everybody else has been saying what a terrible trade that is, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. So yeah, a really, really, really good trades, I think, from Danny Ainge this season. I thought they got really good young assets. I wouldn't have traded Donovan Mitchell personally, because he's pretty young as well, and he's an unbelievable player. So I wouldn't have gotten rid of my, quintessential superstar. You don't get those very often. So look, I think it's a good season from them. They can build through the draft. They've got so many draft picks, and you've got guys like Kessler,
Sexton.
You've got young guys that you can sort of progress through as well. So it's looking good for the future. If I'm the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. Solid season.
Next, who do you reckon it is?
Dallas.
Dallas Mavericks.
I mean,
howdy, Cowboys.
I don't know if this has ever been done. Has a team gone from the conference finals to the 11th seed the next year? Has that ever been done?
Probably. The Lakers did get the number 2 pick year after year, so that could have happened in that stage.
No, but we were finishing last every year.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think it was a horrendous trade that they traded for Kyrie Irving, and then got no defensive support with him. It was frankly a terrible trade. I mean, they traded their good defensive players to get Kyrie Irving. It just didn't make any sense when they needed defense. They didn't need another ball handler.
I think they just hoped they were like, if we score the ball every single time, we might be able to win a game.
Yeah. Look, in my opinion, personally, I think they they jumped the gun. I think they should have kept Porzingis. I think they should have kept the nucleus of that team and maybe get a good piece here and there. Maybe get, maybe trade those picks and trade, I don't know, Dorian Finney-Smith for a decent player. Like maybe get a Mikal Bridges or get a good piece that can fit into Luka. Luka, I mean, again, as a Clippers fan, I've watched the Mavs Clippers series for the past 2-3 years. He single-handedly can carry a team scoring-wise in the playoffs. You do not need another scorer when you have Luka Doncic. He is unbelievable in the playoffs. You need defense around him. You need guys that can hit open shots. That's what you need. You don't need Kyrie Irving, who's going to ball hog the entire time, look sexy, and be a fucking disaster in the locker room. And I think it was a desperate move that they made for him, and it definitely didn't pay out, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I think they realized they weren't in contention with the team as it was assembled, and they were like, fuck it, let's just get another star and see what happens. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. It's been, shambolic. I mean, Porzingis, keeping him, I guess, he's probably had his best season since he was an all-star in New York this year in Washington. But, I mean, the problem is with Luka Doncic, you just don't get the chance to do that because his usage is so high. So it is hard. I mean, I really don't know because Luka said... he said he wants to stay. They've come out publicly and said they want Kyrie to re-sign, which I think they kind of have to do because they're fucked if he doesn't. They have no assets. But I don't know. They need defense and they need a center.
Well, Kyrie didn't do.
Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber are not going to do it for you.
Yeah. Well, Luka did say that there are rumors that Luka could decline his option in not this year, but maybe next year. At the end of next year if he doesn't improve. Or he could be requesting a trade, not declining his option. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a really tough situation the Mavs have got themselves in. It's they're just fumbling the bag at this point. They got the golden egg. They got that fucking prize, possession, future generational player in their midst, young, and they're just fucking it up somehow. They went to the conference finals last year. They needed a couple tweaks here and there. The West is fucking crazy. You just need to be... There's so many teams that are really, really solid. You just need superstar-level players to edge that out. And Luka is that superstar-level player. And you need good performance from your whole team. And they're not getting that at this current moment. So, look, I don't know where they go, honestly. They've given out contracts to these role players that they've got, like Dwight Powell and Kleber. It's just what are you doing?
Is Bertans on that team still?
He might be. I'm not too sure.
He got paid. And then...
Well, he got paid by the Wizards, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mess down in Dallas. They need to figure it out. I just don't think they can. I think they're just blinded by the fact, look, we need to sign Kyrie.
I mean, Jason Kidd, does he come under pressure?
Well, he took them to a conference finals after they got stuck in the first round every year.
Yeah, but now they've missed the play-in.
Yeah, but I don't think you can blame him for that. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I don't even have answers for it. I don't know what you do with that team.
No, they're kind of stuck. I mean, if they can re-sign, maybe they do a sign-and trade with Kyrie. I don't know. But, yeah, they don't really have a lot of options. So, good stuff, Dallas.
Good on you, buddy. So, yeah, did you want to talk about... We'll talk about the play-in. We can talk about the playoffs later on in the next podcast because the playoffs don't start for another week.
That's wishful thinking that we're going to get another episode.
Don't worry, we will. We will. So, yeah, play-in. Obviously, the Clippers aren't in here. Oh, the Lakers are in here. That's interesting. Anyway, we'll start with the West first. So, yeah, we'll start with the bargain bin, which is the 9-10 game. So that's Pelicans Thunder. And then the 7-8 game is the Lakers Timberwolves. Now, I would have actually thought the Timberwolves would have had a chance against the Lakers. We'll talk about the 7-8 game, first. I thought the Timberwolves could have had a chance, but it turns out they've decided to fuck it up on the last day of the season for some fucking stupid reason. Jaden McDaniels, probably one of the best defensive players in the league this year. I don't know, what's a good idea? I'm going to just either punch a wall and break my hand. Good idea, buddy. Just right in front of the playoffs. You are so smart.
Very smart.
You are so smart. No wonder these guys get into fucking financial problems. No wonder. They are idiots. And obviously, but on the plus side for Minnesota, Rudy Gobert's been suspended for this game.
Did he get suspended?
Yeah, he got suspended for this game. So that's good for the Timberwolves. You actually have a chance of winning now. So yeah, you don't have Rudy, so good on you. And
yeah, Minnesota, man.
Well, they don't have Niles Reed either because they fucking got.
So they have no center. Oh, they've got Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to play him out of position at center.
Oh God, could you imagine that? But no, yeah. I think, look, the Timberwolves without Rudy have a chance. Let's be real here.
I mean, if you took out what we said about the Timberwolves at the start of the year and just clipped that and played it now, I mean, you couldn't have predicted it more perfectly. I mean, everyone was saying that trade was, making Minnesota a contender at the start of the year.
Well,
now,
okay, let's
obviously
rephrase.
now they've realised.
Fans weren't saying that.
No, the media.
Yeah, the media were saying that.
The media were saying that. And now they've obviously come back and said, no, maybe that wasn't a good trade.
Oh, really? It's not like every single fan thought that was a shit trade. It's because they fucking suck their own dick. So they're like, oh yeah, we voted him fucking defensive player of the year 2 times, so he must be a fucking great asset. It turns out he's shit, like everyone else thought he was. But apparently the media didn't get that memo.
They traded their entire future and the kitchen sink to get worse. They've officially gotten worse.
Yeah,
I mean,
Kessler is a better player than Rudy Gobert, and that wasn't even part of that was such a minor part of the trade.
Beasley, Vanderbilt. They're really good players.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention the 5 fucking picks.
Good job, Timberwolves.
Yeah, I mean, the Timberwolves. And I feel like the Timberwolves are just, they're sort of stuck as well. Because I feel like Cat is at the point where he's not young anymore. And Cat is who he is. He's just never going to be that MVP level player or that best center in the league conversation. I think he just is what he is. An all-star player at his best, but he's never going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is the only chance that they've got, really. He is very good. He's still got an opportunity to be one of the great players in the league, and he has a lot of potential. But outside of that, they're pretty fucked.
Well, look, they're not that fucked. Look, if you've got superstar-level players, you can never be that fucked. In terms of this game, though, I think the Lakers will win it. So, yeah.
They will.
I think the Lakers will take it out. Look, they've been better. I don't think they're still. I think LeBron's definitely feeling his age at this moment. Let's be real.
He scored like 35 in back-to-back games.
Did you see where he scored like 9 points? That was fucking.
No, he never did that.
Yeah, it was. Well, he wasn't that great.
He ended with 27.
Everyone's talking about it. So Pelicans Thunder. Interesting. Interesting.
The
game.
Thunder have overperformed massively, I think, from where people thought they were.
Well, the Thunder got the Lakers number, so I'm hoping that they win and
we won't.
And you lose.
Okay,
that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
But anyway, who do you think's going to win this game, Pelicans or Thunder? We'll do a season review of all the playoff teams.
It's tough. Obviously, Zion is still out. I mean, fuck me, that dude can be injured.
Not as bad as Jonathan Isaac, though.
Well, I've never seen a grade 1 hamstring take 3 months to recover from. So
mate, he's built like a fucking linebacker. No wonder he gets fucking muscle tears every. He broke his shoe in college.
Yeah, but just fuck. It's a fucking hamstring, mate. It doesn't take 3 months. I think I still got to stick with the Pelicans. They've got the experience in Ingram and CJ, who've obviously been in playoffs before. CJ's been to a conference finals. They know what it takes in these moments.
They know what it takes.
This is obviously the Thunder's first foray into this sort of basketball with Shea and Giddey and all those boys. They have like 3 people called Jalen Williams, I think.
They got 2, but that's funny.
Yeah.
It's real funny.
So yeah, I'd lean towards the Pelicans, but if Shea goes for 50 and Giddey's, going crazy with a triple-double, it wouldn't surprise me.
Too easy. Who do you reckon? So who do you reckon are the 2 teams that come out of the West in terms of playing? Yeah.
I think it'll be Lakers Thunder.
Ooh, Thunder.
No, Lakers Pelicans.
Lightning and the Thunder.
No, not
Thunder. Feel it. Sorry. So yeah. So you believe those 2 teams will come out?
Lakers, Pelicans.
Lovely. So Eastern Conference now. So you've got the 7-8 game Heat Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a cool game there, and then you got the Raptors Bulls, a bit of a shit game there. I think a lot of people are thinking that the Heat could make a deep playoff run because they've got the caliber of players. But if you look at how they performed this season, you shouldn't think that. Look, they're a decent team. They won 44 games this year. I think they'll obviously make it out of this game. And I think they'll beat the Hawks. The 9-10 game, it's a tough one.
Well, people are saying Toronto are scary.
Are they? Who's saying that?
I don't know, all the ESPN guys.
Well, I mean, again, 5 minutes ago, they said Rudy Gobert was a
Yeah,
good player.
but, they're on Toronto.
So, yeah, I do actually have a sneaky suspicion that Toronto makes it out. I think the Heat beat the Hawks, and then the Raptors beat the Hawks. In
it's
the
possible.
Final playing game.
Trae Young is a capitulator in the postseason.
It's funny how his narrative has changed, though. He went from being like him and Luka were the future superstars of the league. Obviously, Luka is still that. But he went from being a future superstar of the league, the next Steph Curry, to beating the New York Knicks in the Garden in the playoffs, to being like an unwanted player.
Yeah, nobody talks about him anymore. You never hear his name.
Look, I never hear Trae Young. No one hears Trae Young.
He's still like averaging.
He was the biggest
27.
thing coming into the draft.
Yeah, and he's still like averaging 27, but people just don't rate him. And he's the way he plays. I think people don't like how he just
like Jalen Green
draws fouls.
He's a better version of he's a better version of Jalen Green.
I guess.
So I think the Hawks aren't that good. So I think it'll be Raptors, Heat that make it out of the East. So I think that's our NBA discussion sort of wrapped up. We obviously summarized how shit the non-playing and playoff teams are, and we sort of went over who do you think would make it into the playoffs from that play-in game. Hopefully the Clippers can take it through. We'll do a podcast before or maybe around game 1 of that playoff series.
The Clippers are screwed. Let's be honest.
Okay, well that's for another podcast, buddy. Okay, that's for another podcast. So yeah, what's the next sport that you'd like to sort of transition into?
Next sport, NRL. We can do some NRL before we finish off. Obviously, the season. What round? I think round 6 just finished.
Yeah.
So you're starting to see who the good teams are. It's
not the Panthers.
That's the funny thing, right? Because how bad we've been.
Oh yeah, I sent our mate a Snapchat because he roast on Thursday night at about 10 o'clock at night. Called me and was like, "Hey, how are the Roosters going?" And I'm like, "All right, buddy. Yeah, okay, whatever, bro, whatever."
That was a terrible performance.
Okay, okay, shut up. So essentially, he was gloating in my face. Hey, and he's literally at the bar when he's doing this. He's like calling me. He's like, "Yeah, I'll have another vodka Red Bull." Yeah, bro, unlucky. Yeah, so it was a whole thing. And then was it the next night or the night after? I think was it Friday night?
It was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember.
Anyway, I obviously watching the game and I was like, oh, it's half time. It's 32-0. That's an interesting scoreline. So I decided to give him a cheeky Snapchat. Unlucky C word. Better luck next time. And I did showed him the picture of the scoreline at half time. He didn't respond. So obviously he's a bit of a sore loser in that respect. But look, it's all love and peace and war and peace. I don't know what the fuck the saying is. But yeah, the Panthers are looking. But I watched that defensive effort from the Seagulls. It was that shock. The defense that you come up against the last 2 weeks. I mean,
it's always the defense we come up against. No, I mean this is before ridiculous.
That the defense was good. The past 2 weeks, the defense has been absolutely
okay.
You cannot watch that game and say the Seagulls.
I mean, this is all I see, right? For how bad we've been to start this season, where are we on the ladder? Second.
Yeah, because you've played more games.
No. Everyone plays the same fucking games. How are we playing more games?
You had a bye, bro.
You've had a bye.
Yeah, but we had unlucky situations. But no, I've
come to the realization the Roosters can't win the comp, so...
You come to that realization because it was raining in Melbourne.
No, it's just
freezing cold.
Sam Walker is not a premiership winning halfback.
And that's 20 years old, bro.
Yeah, and I know.
Is that fact?
That's
facts. It's facts. Facts, bro. Facts, bro.
You know what? He's like a more inconsistent James Maloney. And more scared of contracts.
You know where James Maloney won a premiership?
Yeah. A more inconsistent
where he didn't?
James Maloney.
You know where the only club he didn't win a premiership? Your club. Penny Panthers.
He didn't win one of the Warriors.
Well, sorry. He went to the grand final. Sorry, he went to the grand final with the Warriors. Grand final with the Roosters. Not grand final with you, buddy.
Okay. What does that have to do with
But no,
anything?
Sam Walker, he's a young kid, okay? Look, I think the...
Young kid, he's not good
No,
enough.
let
He's
me
not good
explain.
enough.
If you watch the game, we killed ourselves with our own mistakes. That's number one. Number two, it was more... I think it was just more it was just... Everything went wrong in terms of the... I mean, it was pissing it down in Melbourne.
That's what happens when you're a
with
bad team.
with a Melbourne team that just beat a really good South team.
So you're saying the weather was a vital factor?
In Melbourne, yeah. When you're away from home in Melbourne and it's pissing
You sound
you
like
down.
that. You sound like that Arsenal guy.
No, but it's away from
We have
home.
to take into account it was raining.
No, but it was perfect Melbourne conditions for Melbourne. And I'm not saying that's not an excuse, but I'm saying that we beat ourselves. You look at the amount of times we dropped the ball. Obviously, Radley Simbin's it's a bad decision from him, and we were winning at that point in the game. And then they score 2 tries in that period. Drew Hutchinson didn't have the best game.
Okay. That was another thing. I was like, is Paul Moborowski still at the Roosters?
You know what?
Because there is no way he's worse than Drew Hutchison.
Funny you say that. I was legit thinking in that game, surely it doesn't cost that much to call him up from New South Wales Cup. Like, he was bad.
I don't care how bad Paul Moborowski is. He is not worse than Drew Hutchison.
Did you see him run? It was he slipped over in 2 tries.
Who? Drew Hutchison?
Yeah.
I think he made minus post-contact meters for the game.
Oh God, it was
awful.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But anyway, you live and you learn. Hopefully, Paul Moborowski can get that call up to play right centre.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Teddy's out. We've got a lot of injuries and off the field problems at the moment, and hopefully those guys are coming back. So yeah, look, it was a tough game, and I think it just got away from us at the end. But we were winning the game until that sin bin. So I think the sin bin changed the game.
All right. Well, I guess the big story to come out of all the games this week is obviously the hip drop stuff and this duty of care sort of thing that everyone's just saying. As soon as there's an accidental injury, it's like you had a duty of care to avoid that, and now you're fucking sin binned and your team's going to lose the game. So I guess the 2 main ones is the Marty Tapau one. Do you see?
I didn't see I saw the Bulldogs player one.
Okay, well, the Marty Tapau. Have you heard Marty Tapau's new name?
Marty
Da'ul Ba'ul.
I'm not calling him that.
That's what he's called.
Well, are you like exaggerating it? Is it not like...
No, the first time I heard it, I swear to God, the commentator was like, Da'ul Ba'ul with the ball. And I'm like, what? Is that Marty Tapau?
Okay, it's getting out of hand now. Come on.
It's getting out of hand. Your nickname is literally Kapow because your name is Tapau.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
But yeah, basically...
Just call it Marty.
Yeah, Marty. So Marty was running through as Jordan Rapana was catching a bomb and he fell.
I did see that. I thought you were talking about hip drop.
No, he's collected him with his knee running through.
Yeah, I did see that. That was horrendous. Did you see fucking Jordan Rapana?
The blood was bad.
It was like he was greened out. He was like fucking throwing up on the side. Like, oh, fuck.
But
terrible.
Should have been a penalty.
Yes. He fucking kneed him in the face.
That's not really a rule, though.
I know, but it's like... It's like high contact. It's just because he didn't fucking hit him with his shoulders. I mean, it's not high contact.
But how is it high contact if he's lying on the ground?
I know, but he literally like steams into him and fucking knees him in the face.
But there's nothing he could have done. It's just an accident.
No, but like he literally just it was reckless what he did. You can argue
he was trying
reckless.
to make a tackle.
No, he wasn't.
He's trying to put pressure on him.
He's trying to hurt him.
No, he wasn't.
No,
with his knees.
No matter what you can't decipher his intention. You can say that. Look, what he did was absolutely reckless. Running in there with his fucking knee and just kneeing him in the face. He was on the ground and he fucking just kneed him in the face.
He was falling as he was striding through and his knee happened to collect him.
Look, it was look, in those situations, it's not... You put him on a report, you give it a penalty. It's not... You should.
I don't think it is even a penalty. It's just an accident for me. I mean, it's unfortunate, but...
it's unfortunate, but it's reckless. So you can say it's look, it's unfortunate, and if it's a penalty, it's not the end of the world. It's just a penalty. Look, they were in their own ends. They're in their goal line.
At that time in the game, that was like the defining moment of the game. Like Broncos would have had a chance to tie it up, and I think the Broncos player even picked up the ball and scored. So
yeah, he did, but he wouldn't have dropped the ball if you're going to get fucking kneed in the face.
No, but that's just unlucky.
But yeah. Look, I wasn't against calling a penalty in that situation, buddy. I don't think anybody with a...
Well, I've seen people on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, G-Train and Gus didn't think it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, because they're fucking idiots. They're fucking...
I love them. 100% footy. It's good stuff.
It's a weird show. It's pretty awkward, though. Don't you
It is
think?
awkward because Gus is really... He's losing it at this point. He
he just doesn't talk. He's like...
He's getting up there in age. There's one thing that he still gets up and about for.
He's deathly quiet about every situation apart from fucking like some bullshit like refereeing decisions. He's like, this is fucking the hip drop is fucking
the people running the game don't know what they're doing.
The bunker, just throw it in the bin.
And then they're talking about, because Adokar obviously got injured, they were like, oh, who do you put on the wing for Origin?
Tupou. Is Tupou not a winger?
And Gallon was like, oh, Trebojevic is pretty good. We could chuck him on the wing.
That is such a stupid idea.
It's not a bad idea. And then
it's a terrible idea. You put your best player on the wing. That's an awful idea.
It's basically the same thing as the centres.
No, it's not.
Yes,
because
it is.
he can't wander around like he did when he was playing centre. He has to stick on that wing.
Yeah, you can.
No, he can't. He's got to fucking leave a wide open hole on the other side.
Whiten can defend on the wing.
No.
There's ways around it, mate. But and then Gus was like, Daniel Tupou, what happened to him? I thought he was an Origin player. No, I think we worked out he wasn't an Origin player.
I don't think he was bad though. I think
we've worked it out. We don't need Daniel Tupou.
Look, I don't think Adokar should get game one because it looked like a bad injury, and it looks like it will be fucking, it'll be really tight in terms of his schedule to come back. If he plays one game, I don't think he should. Like even
if he plays well,
it's like the Latrell situation. Like you don't want to.
Yeah, but he's not as fat as Latrell, so
I don't think there's much to do with it.
Latrell needs fitness. Adokar doesn't need fitness.
Yeah, I think he does. If you want him to get, he's useless without his top speed. So you want him to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see how he looks. If he looks good, then
for me, I'd pick Swali.
Don't say it
for winger.
No, that guy's banned.
Why?
Because he's a traitor.
But he's one of the best. If he played wing, last year he was one of the best wingers in the comp at fucking 19.
Yeah, well, you've moved him to centre for some reason. So
because we have no centres. We play. It was evident on the weekend. You should know that we're playing Drew Hutchinson at fucking right centre.
So he's not even playing wing anymore, and I don't know. I just don't want to see him in Origin
because he's going to rugby union. Look, I think you want to win. I don't think it matters if he's fucking going to rugby union. I think it matters that you want to win as a New South Wales fan, and he is the best winger.
I think
he's the best wing. You would be. Look, do you think he's the best winger option?
This is what happens. We put Charlie Staines on the wing.
Oh yeah, let's put shit Staines on the wing. That'd be fucking great.
Who are we even playing on the wing right now?
You're playing that fucking Fijian dude.
Oh yeah, Taruva. Throw him in.
He's Fijian.
Fine, Stephen Crichton. Stephen Crichton at centre.
God,
Turbo at the
wing. God, no, please, God, no.
He's playing very well right now.
Oh,
probably career best.
Yeah. Fuck off. He's not playing another game in Origin.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think we both know that Suwali is the best option on the wing.
I think Adokar's the best option if he's fit.
No, but if he's not fit,
I mean, fuck it. If he plays shit, I'm going to be on his head.
Yeah, but he's not going to though because
if he does,
good. He's a really good winger.
He's good at running. That's all he's good at.
That's what you do with a winger.
Run. I know.
And he's really good at bringing the ball out. I know you don't like hearing that.
That's what he's good at because he needs people.
No, but
he's
great.
Face.
He's a great leaper. He can jump in the air. He's a great finisher. He can pass as well. He's a really good player. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's severely overrated.
I'd put him at centre and put Turbo on the wing.
What?
Okay. Put him at fullback. If Teddy's not ready, put him at fullback.
Oh, Dylan Edwards is going fullback if Teddy's not fit.
No,
that's
no
happening.
Way.
That's happening.
You really think Brad Fittler would pick Dylan Edwards over Suwali?
At fullback?
Yeah.
What?
I think he'd go Suwali.
Suwali can't even play fullback at NRL level.
He was unbelievable against the Eels at fullback. Did you watch that game?
That was when we were driving up, wasn't it?
Yeah, we watched that game.
Yeah, I saw you nearly lose that game in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, but that was a joke, though. That was a joke. That was a prank, bro. But no, he was great in that game. Oh yeah, you didn't watch it because you were driving. But yeah, I think he's a good wing. I think he'd be a good fullback. Look, I wouldn't pick him as fullback.
If Joseph Suwali walks out there in the number 1 jersey for New South Wales,
he won't. They'll fucking put Turbo all the
time. I will light a pitchfork and throw it through Brad Fittler's heart.
And then what if he wins like man of the series?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care.
Did you admit you were wrong?
No.
Okay. But no, Latrell or Turbo would go.
No, but you'd keep him in the centres because they're that good there.
Turbo's a better fullback.
He is, but he wins man of the match every game.
I'd keep Latrell in the centres. I wouldn't keep Turbo in the centres if we needed him at fullback.
Okay.
But anyway,
before we leave, your thoughts on the hip drop tackles?
Hip drop.
I mean, a lot of them are not really.
Well, the Bulldogs play one was
avoidable.
stupid. That's not a hip drop. But I do think it needs to be eradicated from the get. It's just.
But I think the problem is no one knows what a hip drop is.
Yeah, it's a bit like hit and miss. It's like if he gets injured from a tackle, is it a hip drop? Probably.
Yeah. Because like if you're tackling someone from behind, you're probably going to fall on their legs, but that's the only way you can tackle them.
Yeah. So look, I think it's a stupid sort of scenario that we've gotten ourselves into because of how fucking stupid the tackles are nowadays. It's not like how we were taught in school. It's not like rugby union.
I was
tackles.
never taught how to tackle.
You did tackling practice at fucking school in rugby union.
No, I don't think we did one tackling practice.
You didn't because you fucking sacked it off and you just started fullback the whole time. But you tackle with your fucking shoulder. You go in, and you aim for the legs or aim for the thigh. That's how you were taught to tackle. But nowadays, so much wrestling, it's so much about stopping them from getting meters. You've got to stop them as soon as possible. You've got to refrain them from getting 10 meters in a run. So, look, I think it's happened because of how badly the tackle situation is, and it's something that we're not going to be able to stop. So, it's just going to be one of those situations where it's just going to be like, oh fuck, what's a penalty for that? Great, but you can't really explain it.
But I feel like NRL is just like the most over officiated game in the world. I mean, and it's just massive calls like sin bins for very minimal things, penalties for very minimal things, and it just changes games. I mean, you don't see it in any other sport. If there's a flagrant one in the NBA, which is probably the equivalent.
Yeah, but it's a lot more physical than the NBA.
I know, but I'm saying game-defining decisions from referees, right? A flagrant one is a free throw, and then that's it. Having a player off the field is a massive disadvantage.
Yeah,
and I think that it got to the point where it's literally.
Well, I can't really take a player off the court because that's like stupid advantage.
No, but in any sport, what sport does that happen? There's no sin bin in soccer.
There's a sin bin in. Well, there's a yellow card and there's a send off.
Yeah.
In the rugby union, there's a sin bin.
Yeah, and that game. Let's look at that game. Rugby union. Jesus
Ice
Christ.
hockey, there's a sin bin.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they literally kill each other in ice hockey.
Yeah, well, look, the sin bins in multiple different sports.
What I'm saying is, I don't think the sin bin's bad, but I just think it's done way too often.
Okay. I'll agree to disagree.
You think it's good how much people are getting sin binned? Like that, he got sin binned for that hip drop tackle that Bulldogs.
Well, no, I think the refs are sometimes incompetent, and the bunkers sometimes incompetent. But I don't think that you should. It's because of the sin bin. I think it's just more because of the refs.
No, yeah, it's because of the refs' incompetency. That's what I'm saying.
Well, look, I think the sin bin should be used in some instances. Not the victory. I thought that was just a clean hit. I don't know what the fuck they were sin binning him for.
Honestly, I don't think that should be a sin bin either.
Yeah, it was a fucking good hit.
He didn't tackle him. He just pushed him.
Yeah, and it was a monster as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It fucking grub that guy is. Oh god. It's just a Queensland. Oh god. He flopped as well. He was just on the ground. Oh god, my fucking neck. Like shut up,
that's
bro.
The other thing.
Like you literally punch up people into fucking middle of state of origin.
That's the other thing. Every player stays down and they just like they literally tell the bunker to go check it.
That's going to be the problem with the hip tricks or the hip drops. It's going to be the Penrith fucking trainer or the fucking Penrith.
It's the players, man.
No, it's going to be Penrith that come up with the fucking decision to, abuse the rules and fucking.
Every team has already been abusing it.
No, but let's be real. Your fucking trainer's a grub. So
you have to be the only person ever to have this much of a grub against a trainer.
Mate, this trainer is the biggest grub I've ever seen in my life. He literally is a grub.
Nobody hates on trainers, all right? They're just doing their job.
Nobody should ever hate on trainers apart from this guy. He is a grub in the common sense of the word. Fucking Paul Gallen would admire the grubness of this guy. I mean, my God, he is a grub in the Grub Hall of Fame. If there's a Grub Team Hall of Fame, he's in it.
He's the trainer. He's the trainer of the
Wouldn't you agree though? If there was a Grub team,
he's not a grub. He doesn't have a grub personality.
Oh, he doesn't. He's a nice guy, is he? He's a really nice guy.
He is.
Well, he's a fucking prick on the field, so he's a grub.
the only game he's influenced is like 2 games, maybe 1. What has he done since then?
He's done the wrong thing like twice.
What has he done since then?
He should know, mate.
Exactly.
He's a grub. Let's be real.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm still salty about that. That was a fucking... so, but, I mean, it's a fair point, though. I mean, he literally abused the fucking rule. Said, you got to fucking stop the game when this guy's got a fucking leg bruise. And he's like, oh, no, you got to stop the game. And the refs have to listen to him. So he's abusing the rules. So
2 years ago.
This fucking trainer will find a way to abuse this rule.
Okay,
He's a hip drop. You got to stop the game. Stop the game.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll leave the NRL there. Is there any Prem stuff you want to talk about? I guess that's still going on.
Oh, the title race is sort of, thickening up, you could say.
With Arsenal.
Arsenal lost. Drew should have lost to Liverpool, actually, at Anfield.
I saw that.
So an interesting sort of result there in the title race. So City have got a game in hand. So if they win their game in hand, they're only 3 points behind and they've got a better goal difference. And they've got to play Arsenal. So technically, if Man City win all their remaining games, they win the title. That's essentially what happened.
That's a lot of games.
It's 8 games. So, and Man City have historically had a really good form in terms of run into the end of the season. So Arsenal have really may have dropped the ball here.
I mean, Arsenal were basically crowned champions.
Well, yeah,
a month or 2 ago.
Well, it all depends on that Man City. That's going to be such a big game, that Man City Arsenal game. It really is.
What about United? They could sneak in still. They're only 20 points behind.
Yeah, we're title race. No, title race. We're still in it. If every team above us lose every game, we could win the title. How about that, son? How about that?
Top 4. They're going to get top 4 probably.
Probably Spurs and Newcastle are in better form, and we've obviously got a lot of games. We've got Sevilla on Friday. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully we can pull off top 4. You don't want to fucking risk it till the end of the season because we're in the Europa League, we're in the FA Cup.
Just so many competitions.
So many fucking games. You don't want to be in a fucking top 4 race and have to play your best teams in the Prem. You want to have to save them for the big fucking FA Cup. If we get there, if we get to the FA Cup final, the Europa League final, you want to get your best players in those games instead of fucking piddling around against, Southampton. So the relegation race is heating up as well. It looks like Leicester
are going to go down.
Yeah.
What?
They're in the relegation battle. They just got Dean Smith as their manager, John Terry's his assistant. So,
okay,
because they sacked Brendan Rodgers.
Brendan, who did he? Did he manage Crystal?
No, he managed Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers.
But has he ever managed Crystal Palace?
No. Don't know where you heard that one from. But yeah, it's a lot of sort of movement going on down there. So it's an interesting one. And yeah,
how did Leicester get so shit so quickly?
I don't know. It's kind of snuck on me. I thought they were always going to be okay, but
once you win a league, you should be set for a while.
Well, yeah, their players are really good. West Ham are in it as well. They're in a relegation battle, but I think Leicester are 19th. So yeah, Leicester are in 19th. They're on 25 points. And look, yeah, it's so close around there. Southampton are probably going down. But Everton are on 27, Nottingham Forest on 27, Leeds on 29, Bournemouth on 30, West Ham on 30, Wolves on 31. So
everyone
really
sucks.
Yeah,
even Chelsea.
Oh god, they signed Frank Lampard. They got
him back.
Yeah, they got Frankie Boy back. They sacked Graham Potter.
He was so good the first time.
Yeah, let's get him again. He's going to do great. They could actually technically get relegated.
They could.
Chelsea, and they've got a really tough games. They've got Man City away, United away. They've got really, really tough games, so they could sink even deeper, which is going to be funny. So yeah, it's quite an interesting end to the season. There's a title race, there's a top 4 race, there's a fucking relegation battle. Really, really good season. And hopefully Man United, win the treble.
The treble? What happened to the quadruple? Which one did they lose?
Premier League. We haven't won. We won't win the Premier
League. What about the other one?
Well, we won the Carabao Cup.
Oh, did we win that?
We won the Do you not realise we won the Carabao Cup? We beat Newcastle in the cup.
Oh.
Do you not?
I probably did see that, but it just...
Yeah, great fan.
So they've already won something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good on them.
I mean, it's a shit cup, but it's a Carabao Cup. Then we could win the FA Cup and we could win the Europa League. That's a treble.
That's going to be City in the final, right?
That's the magic treble right there. Man City are in it, so it could be Man City in the final. Hopefully not, but it could be. And then in the Europa League, we've got Sevilla. So not an easy game.
Should beat Sevilla.
But I mean, they're the fucking Europa League fucking kings. They fucking win the final every year. So yeah, it's a tough one. And hopefully we can win it. So yeah, moving on to the F1 that we had.
Yeah, finished with the F1. Melbourne.
Now, yes, we were here. We were there. So if you watch the podcast all the way
If you haven't
through,
been able to read the hat, the camera's kind of shit quality, but
it's the F1
if you have
hat.
been
It
able
cost
to read
him
the hat.
$130, that cap.
no, it was $40. But yeah, that was
the
merch
cheapest
stalls.
item of memorabilia there.
If you want a tracksuit McLaren jumper that will peel after one wash,
Yeah.
$300.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend was mad at me that I didn't buy her
what did I say?
the racing
What
jacket.
did I
No,
say?
she didn't want anything else apart from the racing jacket.
Okay.
And I was like, that's $400. Don't think I'm going to be doing that. So, sorry. So yeah, essentially, it was a great experience. We went to Melbourne in a hostel.
Which was also a good experience.
Bit of an interesting.
It was
entrance.
interesting, but it's a good life experience to have.
So yeah, and we drove down there, which was very fun. Obviously on the long roads. But yeah, so yeah, we got to the hostel and we were ready to watch the F1, and we got introduced by a crackhead, and that was fun and interesting.
What was the place called? The Village Hostel in Melbourne.
Can we not shout them out?
Why?
What if they see this and sue us?
What are they going to sue us for?
They could be like,
I mean, if you want to go to a hostel where you get to see crackheads at the entrance, and in our case, sleep with a random person in the same room as you.
No, it was in terms of that's a hostel. I think in terms of a hostel,
but you can book out a whole room if we had another person.
In terms of a hostel, it was a good. It was as good as you're going to get, really. Apart from the crackhead, which wasn't fun. But I was so glad we didn't get him in our room. That would have been funny. But yeah. So yeah, in terms of the race weekend, it was a bit of an interesting experience going to the F1. Very long, it was a lot bigger in terms of what I thought it was going to be. I thought
massive.
I thought there was like fucking 3 sections that you could sit in, and you got to sit there. I think we all thought that as well. We could just me and Studley just thought. Me and our other mate thought we could just sit in that any seat that we wanted.
Yeah,
so we rented the grandstand and we're like...
So when we walked in, so I bought the tickets and they're GA tickets, which basically means you can sit anywhere, but not in like the specially marked grandstands.
Yeah, so you can't sit
anywhere. And so because Studley had texted me before, our mate, and he was like, "Oh, so we can like sit on the straight, right, and watch the pit lane." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure, maybe," because like I knew we couldn't, but I didn't want to like dash his dreams. And then so when we get there, he just walks up to this grandstand and just tries to walk into the seats. And I'm like, Studley, we can't go there, bro.
And then the security guard is like, "Do you have a ticket?" And he's like, yeah, I'll show you a ticket.
Yeah.
It's like, no, do you have the seat? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an interesting experience. It's sitting on the mud and paying, But no, look, it was a lot bigger than I thought it was. The ground were massive, and we went in such a small section the first day that I thought, there's probably another section down the straight that you could sit in. But just the whole park is massive.
It's like a festival.
Yeah, it was essentially a festival. The fan park was amazing. We saw Danny Rick. And yeah, it was crazy. Look, the amount of money I spent on Greek food in that weekend was not healthy. But look, apart from that, it was a really great weekend. Obviously the race, we can talk about the race. So yeah, the race was fantastic. Max Verstappen, actually during the middle it wasn't that great. It was kind of a ball.
It was a good start, and then it was slow in the middle, and then at the end it was crazy.
And yeah, it was such a crazy finish. I was so hopeful that Lewis would win at the end. I thought K-Mag pulled off a masterful run into the wall to help Lewis win. Got his reserve seat for Mercedes locked up for next year. But who did it in the final one? Who fucked up in the final red flag?
Like everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, fuck everybody. But yeah, it was a great start for Mercedes until Alex Albon fucked that shit up.
Alex?
Yeah, Alex. Remember, Mercedes got Russell and Lewis in 1-2. And then fucking Albon decided to...
And then Russell pitted and then his car exploded. So...
Yeah, which was fun. So yeah, essentially... It was a mediocre race, but it had exciting points in it. And yeah, hopefully the Mercedes car looked a lot better than it had been previously. So maybe that's some signs to tell. Maybe it can overtake the Red Bull.
Maybe off the start.
Maybe, but it can like torpedo a Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the race finished under the safety car, which was kind of disappointing. because it would have been a last lap sprint, which would have been very
Why
very
can't
cool.
Michael Massey be the fucking...
If Michael Massey was in charge, that thing would have gone ahead. We would have gone
Christian,
racing.
we went racing.
We would have gone motor racing if Michael Massey was involved. But yeah, I mean, I think it was the most overtaken Australian race ever, like the most overtakes in the race.
Well, I'm not surprised. Everyone got fucking smashed into a wall. I mean, it was overtaken in the safety car lane.
The Aston Martins got extremely lucky because they both got taken out at the restart, but because of the red flag, they reset to their positions before the restart, which allowed Alonso to finish third,
podium,
and then Stroll to finish fourth or fifth or whatever he finished.
So yeah, great weekend. I loved it. The nightlife was good. A bit weird, but it was.
Well, we only went to one place, apart from a pub. But
yeah, it was. I thought it was a cool nightclub.
It was
solid, and yeah, the Melbourne nightlife is probably a lot better than Sydney. I could tell that because it was still popping at fucking. What time did we leave? 1:30.
Yeah, it was still going off.
If it was
quite late.
If that was Sydney, it would be fucking.
And the
shut
DJ
down.
was like, in my opinion, good because I like songs with words.
Yeah.
But he also did play like a combination.
Techno. Yeah,
of stuff.
so it was a good mix. If you were there if you liked a bit of techno shit, it was there for you. If you liked a bit of sing along, it was there for you. He played a bit of fucking 2000 shit that you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really, really cool weekend. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, Melbourne as a city. What do you rate Melbourne as a city?
Oh, it's a weird. It's like I mentioned this on the way back. It's like fucking.
It's probably a little bit more grungy than Sydney.
Yeah, it's like if I don't know. It's like if Bankstown and like the CBD were combined into one. Like there's no like grassy area. There's no like, you know what I mean? There's no like expansive areas.
There's
like
no
Sydney's
like
got everything.
scenic.
I would describe Sydney as a combination between Melbourne and Brisbane. Like Brisbane has no fucking infrastructure, but it's got like really cool parks. It's like really spacious. Melbourne, it's fucking jam packed, but it's kind of a shithole. But it's got massive buildings. It's got great shopping centres. It's got all that. It's got good sporting events. You combine the two, and it's Sydney. So it's not as good as Sydney, but it's got a better nightlife than Sydney. But I don't think as a city it is as good as Sydney. Sorry. And I'll tell you one thing that frustrated the friggin' shit out of me. The AFL. My God.
Show the fucking NRL.
We were searching. We went to this pub, right? We went to two pubs, actually. In the main, I don't know where the fuck it is. It was over a bridge. It was fucking jam-packed. It was near a main train station.
Fuck.
But anyway, the AFL was on. It was fucking, oh, cool. The AFL's on. Who gives a fuck? They're just hugging each other for fucking 60, 70 minutes or how long. I don't know how long they fucking play. But yeah, essentially, it was jam-packed, which is cool. Look, it's your city. That's your main sport. Cool. We went to the first pub. Bottom level, middle level, top level. Entirely AFL. Not the game. Not the game. The game doesn't start for another 2 hours. The commentary for the game. When the NRL is in fucking Friday night football. It's Friday night NRL. No game's being broadcasted.
Panthers are playing as well.
Panthers are playing. Nobody's playing it because they're we got to watch the pre... They can't even listen to it because there's no sound available
at the
pub.
It was the pre-show of the NRL, the post-show of the F1.
No, it was AFL, sorry. It was pre-show of the AFL.
Pre-show of AFL or the post-show of the F1.
But you can't hear it because it's so loud in the pub. So what's the fucking point of having a post-show and a pre-show on in a pub when there's an actual game on?
You got to have like one screen with it
and then across this highway, across the tram line, there was this massive pub. There was massive, jam-packed full of AFL fans. I counted about 20 screens in that place. Same fucking deal. In fact, I don't think I even saw F1. I think I just saw fucking AFL. And I'm like, this is just, like, what are you doing? Like, we get it. You like AFL. But it's a shit sport. You have visitors. Play other sports.
Understand that you have visitors, all right?
It's
that weekend especially, there would have been a lot more people from Sydney and Brisbane and all over.
There's fucking people from all over the place. Yeah. And you're just playing the shittest sport ever. It's not even playing the game. It's the pretty much commentary you can't even listen to. So it's just fucking fat old people talking about it that you can't hear. Good job, Melbourne.
Eventually we found a place that showed it.
Yeah, fucking, we had to like search it up, catch a bus, catch a tram, fucking catch the magic ferry, and we got there. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But we gave them some good business. We ended up going there like 3 nights in a row.
Dude, we've come here. It's because the fucking security guards were from Sydney. That's why they were fucking. Maybe. It was like a Sydney. It was like Sydney. It was like a Sydney pub. It was like fuck. Thank God. Oh, don't worry, mate. Come in. We're far away from the AFL over here.
You're safe here.
Yeah, come on. We're far away from all that shit over here. So yeah, it was a good pub. I actually liked the pub. Apart from the fucking annoying cunt that was just standing in front of the TV the entire time. Oh, your photo, that was so cool. And I'm like, oh, shut up.
There was like a group of like 10 mates or something.
Yeah,
they looked
like
about 30.
They're like so pretentious.
They looked like they were on their annual catch-up or some shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no way, brother. Me and my daddy went to the AFL game the other week. It was so splendid. It's like, shut the fuck up. But anyway, I'm swearing a lot in today's episode, I noticed. I'm just angry at the AFL. Terrible sport. I don't know why you play it.
It's not that bad. I don't mind the AFL, but
no.
I can watch the Swans happily.
I can't watch it. It's so bad. You kick the ball. What? Oh God. Anyway, enough of the AFL rant. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a bit of a long one. Hope you enjoyed the expert analysis on the NBA in particular. Maybe you probably didn't enjoy the rant on the Melbourne Shitsville. But anyway, do you have any passing comments, good sir?
Nah, I think that's pretty much it. Up the Lakers. We're going to win the chip.
All right, we'll talk about that when they're fucking 1-0 down and then fucking... Oh, they're in the play... Oh, no, it's a play-in, sorry. They're probably...
Yeah, we're going to win tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them lose. So, yeah, hopefully the... who are you playing? The Timberwolves. You could think, no, Rudy Gobert, Timberwolves.
The Minnesota Timberwolves
can make the play-in again. Like the Pat Bev. Hopefully, can
they
it
don't
be
have Pat Bev.
Yeah, no, but could they do the same celebrations again?
No, they
that
can't.
would be so
Imagine
hilarious.
if they cried again making the play-in. I mean, the playoffs.
From the play. That was the funniest shit ever. And Pat Bev was like to the Clippers after the game, "Mate, we'll see you in the playoffs, dog." And
they lost.
Yeah, but but that's not even the funny part. Like, even to meet the Clippers again in the playoffs, you'd have to meet them in the Western Conference Finals. So that's assuming that both teams would make the Western Conference Finals. And no team made it out the first round. So good on you, Pat Bev. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Follow us on all social media platforms. And have a good day.
Yep.
Toodaloo.
Subscribe and that.